Good afternoon. It is an absolute glorious day at the plot. So apologies if there's any background noise. I've had a bit of an issue with my microphone, which I'm trying to sort out. I've ordered a new one. But today it's all about clearing out some of this plot. It's all feeling very autumnal now, even though we're not even there yet. But I can see that a lot of things now are starting to die down and they're going yellow, and I'd rather get them out now before than leave them then and they become wet and soggy over winter. So it's a bit of a clear up today. Another job is I want to take down this sunscreen now, so it's done its job. I don't want to leave it up over autumn and winter because obviously all the wind will start coming through the valley, so that needs to be done. Oh, more cabbage whites, hello. The Naginas and the Crimson Crush are still going strong. We've had a good bit of rain the last week, so they have been well watered by, you know, the sky. So there's a few on there that need to be harvested as well, and I also want to take a pile of seeds, but you know, the bees are out and they're enjoying the sunflowers, so that, you know, it's all good. The beans have had it now. I mean, I am keeping quite a few of them on the vines to save seed for next year, so we have got some coming here, so I will collect some of those, and I might leave up maybe half a trellis just to obviously let them dry out. But most of this now I want to get out because yeah, it's time to start getting excited for next year and clearing down the plot, dismantling all the structures and planning for next year. So as mentioned, you don't want to be collecting some of these big runner beans for seed. You want to wait until they go papery brown like this, and inside then they're good to go. So yeah, I've had a few people message me saying can they collect the beans like this now and then dry them out, but my advice would be to leave them on the vines as long as possible, and then when they're ready you can take them off the vines. And the same goes inside the polytunnel as well. I want to start taking out some of the tomato vines now. If there's one or two small tomatoes on each vine, I'm happy to sacrifice them. I have had a mass amount of tomatoes this year. I'm sure you have too. It's been a great year for tomatoes, but I always like to clear the polytunnel out before we even get into blight season. I don't tend to leave my vines on hoping for that one or two tomatoes to ripen. I'd rather get it out before you get to that stage where the vines are all like got all that grey powder and all on them, and they're a nightmare to clear out then as well, and it's not good for your chest. So I always like to be productive about that and take them out before we get to that stage. So the polytunnel is going to be dismantled and no, it's not going to be dismantled. The vines inside are going to be taken out and the beds will start being addressed and seeing if I need to remulch them ready for next year and give them a good feed. So yeah, there's loads planned. There's also quite a few peppers now coming on. These are the King of the Norths and they're looking absolutely fantastic. I mean, we've got a few now that are starting to bulk up. But down here, these were in a 30-litre bucket and these are much larger. So next year I'm going to plant them in 30-litre buckets. And I've also started taking off one tomato off each vine and leaving their label next to it as well. And then I can start drying out some of these seeds and then I can use them again next year. So I'm going to be collecting a few tomatoes today, not to eat, but mainly for the seeds. But perhaps I can use some of the flesh as well in some tomato sauce or something. But yeah, these ones are primarily being collected for seed.
We got nowhere to be, just a slow dance with the summer heat. The world outside can't wait a few, 'cause right now we got nothing else to do.
Now the good thing about this Cobra French bean structure, I didn't use no cable ties, I didn't use no string. I used those new clips that I purchased at the early spring, so I'll show you them now once I've taken it down, but they were so easy, so I'm hoping that this can be dismantled quite quickly. Let's go.
The sun is peeking through the cotton white blinds, your hands still tangled up in mine, feet on the wall, your head on me, floating easy. We got nowhere to be, got nowhere to be. but you don't mind. You just laugh, let it fall where it lies. Coffee's cold, but we take a sip, talk about nothing. Let the morning slip. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that. Feels like that.
So these are the clips I was telling you about, and you basically just run the bamboo cane through here, and you can also put one horizontal as well. So they were so easy to fasten on at the start of the year and just as easy to take down. The leaves are definitely starting to drop off the trees now and go yellow and brown, so we're having an early autumn by the looks. But the good thing is, the way I designed this shading system, it's very easy to take down. I can store it then as well, and I can put it back up in early spring and summer. So yes, that needs to be done too.
Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that. Oh, it feels like that, like summer air through window cracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer sun on quiet tracks. Oh, it feels like that, like the summer rain that falls so slowly on the naked skin upon your back. Oh, it feels like that, like a love song on a worn out track. Yeah, it feels like that. Feels like that. Yeah, it feels like that. Na 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 na. Feels like that.
So it's all done now. I mean, we're in September, and the next couple of weeks we'll get some sun, but not intense sun like we've had. So if we can get as much heat as we can in the polytunnel now just to ripen up those last couple of tomatoes, then happy days. It sounds really sad, but I cannot wait to get most of those tomato vines out, especially on the one side, and put the staging back in, because I'll feel like then the polytunnel's kind of ready for next year. So yeah, it sounds daft, but I like seeing all the staging back in there now, and yeah, we're one step closer to sowing seeds for next year. Bring it on. And I came over the other day and had a big picking of the Cobra French beans that I planted over here, and I think this is actually a better site for them. A lot of them picked up later on in the season, and they were planted late, to be fair, but they've done really well in here. I think it's just due to the fact that it's a little bit shaded, it's not getting intense heat, and you're getting these lovely green French beans. So I think I'm going to plant them again here next year. And make sure you're writing down now in a notepad what grew well in certain places. It might not just always be about the soil, it could also be, you know, the location of it as well. You know, it might not have had too much sun, the right amount of shading. So yeah, just always make notes of these things and try and perfect them for next year. Speaking of next year, honestly, it's coming so quick. The spring bulbs are out already. So I took an impromptu visit to the garden centre the other day and had a coffee with Jen from the Moorside Gardener. She's becoming a regular to South Wales. And yeah, so it was nice for her and her family to come and have a coffee, have a little catch up. And yeah, it was nice to see all the, all the spring bulbs are out now, and the garden centres are starting to stock up for you to add your daffodils. So it won't be long now before we planting your daffodils, your tulips. So if you're thinking about doing them for next year, pop some into your basket or go to a local garden centre and grab some. So I'm going to be putting a lot more daffodils in this year, I think, ready for next year. So there is plans for that, but tulips, I'm not quite sure. I mean, in previous years, I've had some beautiful displays of tulips. And the problem is with tulips, they just don't last. The bulbs don't store and they don't carry on, so you have to keep replenishing them. But daffodils seem to give you a little bit more, a little bang for your buck. The blowhilders, wow. I mean, look at them. They look like they've gone through 3 divorces and they've been left with nothing. Oh, the poor things, but they're dried out now. I think a lot of the leaves have fallen off and they're bedraggled, but there is quite a few now that have dried up on here, ready to save seed. And also this teepee here, which I purposely left out to save the seed. So I'm going to grab all them today, take some of the structures down, and it'll soon be back down to, flat ground. And it's strange when that happens, but I like it as well, because it gives you ideas of what worked, what didn't work, what can be moved. If you're planning on moving raised beds, through autumn and winter, perfect time to do it, ready for spring. Don't leave it until the warmer weather in spring and then think, okay, now I'm going to start preparing the beds. In my opinion, get it all done now, get them all settled, and then you're all ready for spring. Now, I've already started thinking about onions from seed and what I'm going to do next year. I am sticking to my guns and I am not doing onion sets over winter. If you are, let me know in the comments if you've had any successes with them. I never have. I've had a couple, out of the whole bed, you might get like 20% that'll actually come okay. To me, it's just not worth it, I don't think, because they only come a few weeks earlier than the summer ones. So I think I'd rather have that bed empty, well fed, ready for summer. And yeah, but let me know. But I am thinking spider web on my nose. I am thinking just doing my Elsa Craig, and I might do Stuttgart and Giants again from seed in January. So look at now at ordering seeds, writing a list of what you need. It's all that time now. It's this time of year where you start preparing ready for next year. So don't think I'm going to sit back now, I'm going to let it all die back down, and then next year will be, I'll be ready. Prepare now, write lists. Write your seed list now, because it will change, because you'll see other people trying things and suggesting things. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do the Elsa Craig from seed again next year, because I had some beautiful onions from those. So I'm not going to be doing onions from sets over winter. I have put my foot down and I am not doing it. So the Greek gigantes haven't been good this year, and even though I didn't cross-pollinate them, somehow they've just not. Oh, hold on, we've got some Greek gigantes, so that's good news. Now sometimes you get this, they come out like this, they're meant to come out like this, so I won't use those. Hopefully we'll get some. So yes, we're getting some Greek gigante beans. Now these are great, these are fab. Put them in a stew or a casserole and they swell up and they've got this nice buttery texture to them and they're beautiful. There's quite a few still up and the vine's drying out, but I thought I'd take these now just in case. So I got some seed for next year. Now they weren't the best this year due to the heat, I think, and yeah, but it is what it is. You take what you can from the garden and you leave some and you learn from the disasters. Like this. Now what happens is sometimes they cross-pollinate and they're supposed to be large butter beans like this, but they come out like large runner beans. Now maybe next year I could grow these and they'll come back true to form, but who knows. So I've taken down this structure now. I always leave it flat for a few weeks now just to let all this dry off, and I find it easier to take these off. I've tried many times. Now with the bamboo canes it's quite easy. You just basically just slide the vines down the bamboo canes, but with this there's a bit of a net on it, and even though that does well for it to climb on, it's a blooming nightmare to get back off later on the season when you want to store. But I'm okay with that because once they dry it's quite brittle and then they all snap off, and then I store this in the polytunnel over winter. I don't leave this out because it could rust. I mean, you could dismantle it I suppose as well, but if you're thinking about leaving your structures out over winter, like your archways and whatnot, I always take them in and I always end up getting a few more years from them. Right, next job. Another reason why you want to be taking some of the structures down as well is you don't want them blowing and damaging your structures, your other structures like your fruit cages, your polytunnel, your greenhouses. And I've got a job in a bit as well for another plot holder, Cheryl, so I'll go down and do that for her as well. There we go, job done. There's still plenty more beans to save for seed on the trellises and we'll get that done as well. Oh, when will it end? Never. There's quite a few butternut squash here as well, so I'd like to find out when I see him what variety these were, because they've come fantastic. I mean, they're lovely looking butternut squash. Yeah, I shall be bending his ear to find out what they were. And he also has a lovely array of dahlias as well at the bottom, so yeah, it's nice to see. These were the Chernobyl plots, the quarantined ones, but as you can see, they've started to use their plots now and get them ready for spring. Now I'll pop these beans now in Cheryl's shed and they'll continue to dry out. I'll leave the bag open a bit and then she can use them next year. Now these were called Trail of Tear beans, and she wants to keep the seeds because she wants to grow them again next year. So yeah, I didn't want to just take them all down and then she got nothing for next year. So that's the plan. So this is my plot neighbour's plot here, but this is our communal path for everyone to use. And as much as these pumpkins are doing really well, they are encroaching on the path a bit. So you need to be mindful as well that if plants are getting in the way of the communal paths, it's not good, and you want to keep good rapport with all your plot neighbours. So keep your paths nice and clear. Now down here in the unexpected pumpkin patch, we have got a nice zombie pumpkin. I mean, it's a bit early, he was cut off on accident, but I'm sure on a Halloween or autumnal decoration this will look fab. And the same goes to this one. Is a bright orange on the top, green on the bottom. I mean, isn't nature such a funny thing? And all those pumpkins, squashes, which whatever they are this year, they've climbed all the way around to the plot, and there's quite a few in here now growing, and I'm not going to eat these, even though they're so prolific, I think they are cross-pollinated seeds, so they will be used for decoration or just pop back onto the compost heap. Now, even though this bed is a little bit weedy, there's still plenty of zinnias that keep coming through this bed, and I have to say they have been very much welcomed. I'm going to grow a lot more zinnias next year, I think, and densely grow them together. I mean, I spaced these out a little bit too much, I think, but yeah, we'll be definitely doing more next year. The babyboo pumpkins, they're looking okay, but look at the size compared to the Jackby Little. This is not so little, but there is some babyboos down here that are growing a bit bigger, and yeah, there's quite a few. I'm glad that I planted them all here, and you can see a few hiding around. And the good thing about when you grow pumpkins and squashes, sometimes all the foliage hides them, and when it all dies back, it's like a little treasure hunt, and you find ones that you didn't actually know were growing. And this sunflower is standing well over 15 foot now. It is absolutely crazy. There is some nice sunflower heads on the top. I mean, there's about 10 up there, and loads more here as well around the sides. I just wish that it came earlier in summer. I mean, we will get a few flowers from this now, but God, what a monster. And I've picked a few pears as well. Now you're probably thinking, are they early? These are quite small considering, but they're doing okay. They're a decent size. I mean, as pears go, I suppose. But I would normally pick off quite a few of the fruit or allow it on June drop to drop down, but we didn't have no June drop. Now in June, usually nature makes some of the fruit drop off naturally so that you get a good crop regardless, but didn't happen, and I didn't check on that tree so much because I've never had pears on there that have been good, so I was a bit cautious. If I gave it a good prune, would I end up with none? So we've ended up with these ones. Now if you've got pears now, from now until maybe October, November time, you can be harvesting them. You harvest them by just gently lifting them on the branch, and if they snap off, you know they're ready to be harvested, otherwise they're going to naturally drop off. If they don't, leave them on for a bit longer. Now I'll take these indoors, store them, and they'll be nice and fruity and soft in a few weeks time. But yeah, they're not ready to eat yet. And that's one fruit where you can't just naturally pick it off the tree and eat it. It normally takes between 5 to 7 days after you've picked it to ripen. So give it a bit of time. Keep it in a nice cool room for about 5 to 7 days, and fingers crossed you will have some nice juicy pears. Is anyone else getting fed up with tomatoes now? It has been an amazing year for tomatoes, but I've had quite a good cropper of Sergeant Pepper. Now a lot of people that I gave these to said these were perfect for just eating straight as they are. I mean, I took them into work and they were eating them like apples in the office. So yeah, Sergeant Pepper is definitely going to be on the list for next year. And also The Cuban salami, we're still getting a few mutant ones. They should look like this, but some of them look like this, which I'm happy with. I mean, they've basically just doubled in size, or tripled sometimes. So I'm happy with those, the Cuban salami, and also the Costaluto Fiorentino. And these were given to me, well actually they were in seed. She actually brought a plant to Malvern in spring, and I mean, look at them, they're beautiful. They're nice and flattish. They look a bit pumpkinish in shape. And I've been picking these as well, and they're not huge. I thought they'd be bigger, but they are so tasty. So I'll be using these later on in a pizza. So yeah, another one that's going to be added to the list for next year. I mean, the colours in the trug, you know, you just cannot put these together and not smile. They're absolutely beautiful. I mean, there's a few in here, especially this one, you know, the Peck Andre, which I'm going to be growing them again. I mean, they look like little peaches. I've shown them last week. These are another one that I love, and also the Cherokee Carbon. But a few people have been asking about these smoked paprika. Now, I will find out, if I can put it on the screen, I will. I'll find out the variety, but they are just a paprika. They're not called smoked paprika, but when you snap off this and smell inside, honestly, they've just got this nice smoky paprika taste and smell to them. I mean, I've had paprikas before, but not like that. They are absolutely fantastic. And I've had a few people asking me about these paprikas, so if I can, I'll put it here. If I can't, I'm really sorry. I'll find out in the future for you. I've also cleaned out the greenstalk by cutting off all the foliage from here. We've still got some strawberry plants in the bottom which are doing well, which I'm going to divide later on. But this is all cleared out now. I'm going to take out some of the compost later on. That'll be for an autumn job. There's no need to do that now. And then I'm going to talk about greenstalks in a future video, about, you know, what I loved about them, what I didn't like about them, and, you know, the plans for next year with the greenstalk or greenstalks. And I've cleared out some of the plants on this side of the polytunnel now, because there wasn't many fruit on them, or the fruit that were on them had just started to ripen, so I've picked them. And it's just time now to start clearing out your polytunnels and greenhouses. Don't leave it to blight. But this blueberry, oh my god, it's giving me so many tomatoes. I mean, when they're ripe, they look like this. They don't look so blueberry then. But when they are ripening, you can see why they've got that name. But they have been giving me so many tomatoes this year, so I'm going to be growing this again next year, but these ones are ready. I mean, I suppose when they ripen they look more like cherries, but definitely on the vines they look like blueberries. And I almost forgot, so I went to this place a few miles away from me, and I'm going to do another visit there very soon. But I went there and oh my god, they've got these beautiful growing spaces. They really have, you know, they've got polytunnels everywhere, a nice orchard. The pond gave me so much inspiration. You know, so they've got like this nice pier coming out of it as well, and they've got like, you know, bugs and all etched into the wood. There's loads of detail and love into this growing space. It's for the community and to help, you know, the village a bit really, and show them skills and give them things to do. And if they're retired or they're out of work and they want a purpose, it's honestly, it's beautiful. And I'm going to go back there again very soon and do a nice, you know, tour and film of it. But oh my god, I'll show you a few pictures and stuff. But honestly, I was jaw-dropping all the way through, thinking, god, how do they do all this? You know, there was vegetable after vegetable and orchards and ponds, and honestly, it was so nice. They were putting all the flowers in and they were mixing things together that I would never have thought to do, but they've been doing it and it looked beautiful. But it was nice to see a community together growing all this together, and it was very much the same sort of ethos this year of sharing and giving things away. And they also produced a lot of food that went to the hospital kitchens, which were near the grounds as well. So, but I will show you that very soon. I'm Danny and this is Grow Up.